Hello, this is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Thar. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Thar. All right, go ahead and put in the comments whether you can hear me. I'm here live and ready to answer those questions. So just go ahead and put in the comments whether you can hear me. Hello. All right. Okay, thank you so much, Bernadine. So we are on a roll. Thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to giving you the information that can empower you in your immigration journey. I'm also going to go ahead and just pull up the other platforms so that I can answer questions all at one time. So hang tight. Put your questions in the comments. Thank you so much, Orlando. I appreciate that. Put your questions in the comments so that I can answer your questions. It's so good to be back. All right. So we are on a roll. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharp. I'm here live to take your questions. And, this week it's just Wednesday and it has been such a wonderful week, even despite everything that we're seeing in the news. I know day by day we're working here in the office to make the difference that we can make in our client's life. And, it's truly been an inspirational last couple of months because as we are experiencing these very scary times, there is glimmers of hope. My clients we got so many results between Monday and Tuesday. We got three T visa work permits, one green card. Then we got two certifications that make our clients' cases stronger with a T visa. So that is going to make such a difference for our clients, especially during this time when they're trying to survive, they're trying to make an honest living, they're trying to work and keep their families together, knowing that we were able to get their work permit, their green card, it makes a difference. And it means that we at SC Law Office are making a difference. So, as I've always said, guys, I try to keep my head geared towards solutions. Stay steady. And I tell my team, stay steady. Let's focus on solutions. Let's focus on the laws that are here now that we can use to help our clients to get the protection that they need. And clearly, we're getting the results for our clients because we're focusing on laws that are in the books. Now, I know you have seen TPS ended. We did have a federal court order that the put a halt to the end of TPS for now. Of course, we can expect that to be appealed and go up the line. And repeatedly, what we have seen is the higher courts have said that the president can end TPS. So, we can expect to see it appealed and possibly, at the end of the day, ultimately see TPS ended for Haitian citizens. But the difference between what I'm doing and what we're seeing in the media right now is we're focusing on laws that are in the books. right now, what this administration is focusing on is they're focusing on types of immigration benefits where it is easy to pull the security blanket from off of the immigrant community by taking away discretionary. When I say discretionary, it's up to them. They can give it and they can take it, right? And that's what happened here. They have now, they're working towards revoking TPS parole for hundreds and thousands of individuals, over 500,000 immigrants. And that is because it's discretionary. The president has the discretion to do it. Now, the kinds of relief that we're applying for, it's written in the books. If someone qualifies for it, then they have to look at the law. The officers at the immigration, they have to look at the law, same as the immigration judges, because we're also an immigration court. They have to look at the law in the statute, look at our client's case, and say, do they qualify? If they do find that they have to follow the law and give the clients, give the immigrant applicant the relief that they're applying for as long as they qualify. And it's not to say that this can't change. This is why I'm saying treat this with urgency, because we're seeing a lot of changes, a lot of laws are changing. So you need to treat it with urgency to act on it so you can get your relief, right? Before we start seeing them, the Congress starting to, right now, they're focused on the big, beautiful bill, which is, horrific, but they're focusing on that right now. But after they focus on that, then what's next? Are they going to now start to look at other laws that are in the books related to immigrants and immigration and start drastically changing that? So this is where I say act with urgency, because as long as the law is there, then they have to look at whether you qualify and give you the relief that you are looking for. And that's what's happening here, is we are winning because we are basically going by the laws in the books. Now, I have seen comments saying, oh, all that information the attorney's given about your rights in immigration court, you're fighting your deportation. That's all false. Trump is in now. There's no such thing. Wrong. Immigration judges are considering relief for immigrants. It's a stressful situation. If you get detained or you end up with a notice to appear, yes, it is stressful because it means that you're looking deportation in the face. However, there are defenses, there is relief, and you should never just give up and say it's not going to work, right? Because we are fighting for our clients. We've gotten clients released from detention because that still happens. The judges can consider this. And this is written in the books, in the laws. So they have to look at it. So, guys, there are rules and laws that are still being enforced. Do not listen to the rumors. And if you hear something, do not count yourself out. Talk to an immigration attorney that can tell you what to do, the right immigration attorney. Like us, where we basically ask the questions nobody else is asking. No, for the past couple of months, we have been getting relief for our clients. We have been getting approvals, green cards, work permits. Those have been coming through. T visa work permits are coming. But you have to take action to determine you qualify and take that step. Do not hide in the shadows because you're actually disempowering yourself when you are doing that. You must make sure that you take action on your own behalf, empower yourself. We're a safe space. Talk to us first. Talking to us doesn't mean you're actually going to make any one move. So you need to make sure you call us. Go to the link in the profile. You'll find our number there. It's all over my videos. We are 24/7. Our team is working 24/7 to answer calls, we're answering your DMs to make sure that you are in a position to get the legal advice that you need to figure out what the next step is. All right. So I'm going to answer some questions. So put your questions in the comments. It's so nice to be back. And it looks like I'm not going to have any technical difficulties today, which is great. I had to do it on my phone for Instagram, on my other phone for TikTok, and then Facebook and YouTube for the computer, but it looks like it's working. All right. So put your questions in the comments, please, so that I can answer your questions. Okay, we'll look into that. So I saw we got an email, so I'll look at that. And if you want to DM us, so honey, go ahead and DM us so that we can address your concerns. Congratulations on the 3 visa work permit approvals. How long did they each take? So about 6 months. Each of them took 6 months. And thank you so much. Our clients are just over the moon. If you're watching, following me, you're watching the videos, you will see their reactions. It's just priceless. You'll see my reaction. And it's just priceless. It really is inspirational. Um, and that's for the naturalization. So I'm not sure what you're referring to, but that's in the news right now that go figure, they are prioritizing denaturalization. One thing I want to reassure you about is that denaturalizing someone is difficult. They cannot denaturalize you for something that you've done while you're a citizen. That cannot happen. They have to turn around and find that you did something wrong that you never disclosed before they made the decision. They would have to find fraud, right? That you didn't disclose something to them, and because of that, they made the wrong decision in giving you citizenship. And they have to go ahead and sue in federal court. And then once they sue in federal court, a judge is going to decide. And not an immigration judge, a federal judge, which is an independent judge, independent of the federal government. Immigration judges are part of the executive branch, but in this case, they are not part of the federal government. They're part of the judicial branch. So yes, it is scary, it's nerve-wracking, but keep in mind the bar is pretty high. So yes, they're saying they're going to focus on it, and we definitely can't say that they will not try, but just know this, you have rights. They can, just because they are coming to denaturalize you does not mean that it is warranted. So you need to make sure that you're getting legal counsel or legal advice to understand your situation, to empower yourself. I would say, this is very, very rare. And can you imagine they have to bring individual lawsuits to a federal court and sue each person that they plan to denaturalize? That's very expensive, time consuming. Keep in mind that the Department of Justice, they hate litigation. When they are being sued, they really do have to decide whether they really want to pursue this. That's why a lot of attorneys do take action to sue for excessive processing times, because at that point, the government is like, all right, make a decision or go through the expense of litigation. Let's just make a decision on the case to just get it out of the way. So can you imagine now, with limited time, limited resources, that they are now bringing individual lawsuits in civil court against individuals to take away their citizenship? That is going to be very, very hard, expensive, time consuming, and I would say just impossible. So as you can see, they're not going to have their 25 million naturalized citizens. They're definitely not going to have millions of cases. They're definitely not going to do hundreds of thousands of denaturalization cases. So it's rare. It is rare, and I would say yes, they're saying prioritize it. but how common is it gonna be with how prohibitively expensive it is? So, as I said before, I've said this, we have to think through these things. And of course, I am giving you my knowledge and what I know to be in practice to be able to help us to think logically through this. It's probably going to be covered extensively every time they take away somebody's citizenship. It will be covered. And that is definitely going to give people a sense of fear. But keep in mind that it's very rare. It has been very rare. Now, it was used as a tactic in the 1950s to go after certain people who they wanted, who they claimed were communists and wanted out of the country. So it was a form of a tool that they used to target people who they thought were communists, right? So that's an example of how it has been used politically. But once again, if you're regular Joe sitting at home, never, never did anything, did certainly no fraud before you got your citizenship or fraud to get your citizenship, are they going to take away your citizenship? Unlikely. But if they do, know that you have rights. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the compliments on the hair. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And strangely enough, it's the easiest hairstyle. Just put those rods in, take them out, and voila, I'm good to go. All right. Okay. I know I can go on and on with the questions, so let me move along and answer some more questions. Thank you for the follow. Yes, go ahead, follow me because that's how you're going to get information that empowers you. Share, like, that's how people are going to get the information they need to empower them. They're asking for an RFE for my N400 because I said on the application for my visa I was married and I was not. What do I do? This is a very, very tough situation. And unfortunately, this is an example of a situation, the kinds of situations that they are going to target. Now, I would want to know more, how is it that you were married? Um, so I said on the application, I was married and I was not. What was the situation? We need to know more because yes, there is the concern here, and what I can tell you based on this, a hunch, based on my own experience, is that now they're looking to see if you committed fraud on your visa application. Did you, when you said you were married, on your visa application, was that to be able to get a benefit? If so, then that is where it can be considered fraud for the visa. The problem with that is once they find that fraud for the visa, they would say everything else that came after the visa is null and void, which means your green card is null and void because you lied, so you shouldn't have gotten the green card. And then after that, if you weren't supposed to get a green card, you're not supposed to get citizenship. Now I don't know all the facts, and you may have defenses here, but we have to talk to you. And yes, this is very serious. It's an emergency because they are issuing an RFE, and that means that they are looking at that information and they will, if they do conclude that there was fraud to get the visa, they are going to then turn around and say, not only should you not have citizenship, you should not have your green card, and they're going to put you in removal for fraud. So get on it, get representation ASAP. My daughter filed a petition I-130 for me. With all that is going on, I'm thinking I should have her cancel the application as I'm thinking it will take longer now and I want to be able to travel. No, I understand the fears, and it really is a personal decision. I say if you have a US citizen daughter, 21 years or older, and you do qualify, I don't know all your facts. I'm not your attorney, so I wouldn't know all your facts. But if you qualify, it may be worth still going through the process. It may not take that long. And when I say it may not take that long, it might be a year to a year and a half. In the meantime, you can file for your travel document. You can file for your work permit. That helps to make things a lot easier for you in the transition, of being able to travel freely and then no having to wait it out here in the US. While I say be very careful with the travel document though, what I would say is that could make things a lot easier for you. You know, you'd be able to have mobility with the work permit. So has that been filed for you? Because if and canceling the I-130, would that make sense? Because ultimately, the end goal is to get your green card. And I would say now is the time, but I can't make that decision for you. If you really want you need to talk to your attorney about that strategic decision. Good night. We got our visa June 30th for F3 category, but my son was refused because they told him he was aged out. He will be 22 November 14th. Is there any chance of him getting adjustment of status? Well, here's the deal. He may not have age out if he falls under what's called the CSPA. That's a Child Status Protection Act, where there's a special calculation that's done. He will be 22. So that's telling me that if they apply the calculation, he could still fall under the age of 21. So get in touch with us for sure, and we can do the calculation to see if there's a mistake. Sometimes, if there was a mistake, we can point that out and they can reverse that decision. But it's very important that you resolve that now, right? Whether the CSPA is covers your son's age and stops him from aging out. But there's things that we have to know. We have to know when the I-130 was filed, when is the priority date, when was it approved. We have to know those to be able to make the calculation to see is he, for purposes of immigration, would he fall under 21? How about best USA visa category? Please elaborate in detail. So I wouldn't say there's any best. It just depends on what you qualify for. What's the best one for you? What's the best visa that qualifies for you? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate how grateful you are. How long does it take to get a work permit after applying for employment authorization through asylum? 180 days after applying. Now, you do have to apply at 150 days, 180 days, you are issued the work permit. Good afternoon. I got a ride for misrepresentation. I said I was married okay, so I answered that. Yes, definitely. Make sure what non-detained deportees proceeding letter mean? Means that the person is not in detained. So they're going through the court process, but not detained. So you're free, and then you have your court date, you attend your court dates. All right. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and then I'm going to head over to TikTok. Thanks so much for your patience. I'm going to come on and answer questions on TikTok shortly. Got my 10-year green card by marriage in 2022. Now separated, not divorced, but my current partner is expecting a baby. Marriage was in good faith. Is that grounds for deportation? It shouldn't be. No. No. So you got your 10-year green card. It's not grounds. Things happen. you got separated. It's life. And you have your 10-year green card. What you do if you're worried, just make sure you keep documentation related to your first spouse to show that your marriage was real if anything comes up. Thank you so much, Veronica. I really appreciate that. I was in removal. I got a 212H waiver with a green card. Judge approved it. 30 days passed, no appeal. Just got my I-551. Can I travel internationally? Could CPP put me in removal again? Congratulations on your green card. The I-551 stamp is proof of your green card. No, you as a green card holder, you can travel, but I don't know where you're traveling to. You got how did you get the green card? It was two, I know you got a waiver. It's usually 212H is related sometimes to criminal conduct. So that part, I would have to know the facts because you're a green card holder, you can travel, but what are the facts involved? That are there any facts that could increase the possibility? For example, say I know that's not your situation, but say you went from asylum to a green card and then you traveled right after you got the green card, you traveled back to the country you said you were not safe in. Coming back, that could be a real issue, and they could reopen your case and investigate for asylum fraud. So that's an example of how your facts applied to the situation can really influence my advice about whether you should travel or not. My VAWA combo work permit expires on September 15, 2025. Mail renew is coming, same combo card. As long as you apply for the travel document renewal and the work permit renewal at the same time, it should come as a combo card. I got a notice to go to court with removal 2024. I got an interview, but my husband was sick. My lawyer speak with them. So it sounds like your lawyer is on it. On checking my VAWA case online, it said if I don't hear from them by August 25th next month, I should write them to check what do you I can't find my mail neither. Could my attorney find his own the mail for extension of my work permit after receipt? I'm now confused if it was ever sent. So sometimes for VAWAs, the attorney may have gotten it. They do treat the attorney's address sometimes as a safe address. So check with your attorney on that. If you're married to a U.S. citizen and got detained by ICE, can he still file the paperwork? Um, if you're married, yes, that's a possibility, but they may do it in immigration court, which could raise the bar of it depends on when you got married. Were you already in proceedings? If you were, it may raise the bar that you have to prove your marriage is real. But yes, it can be filed, and sometimes it can be used as a basis to show the judge you have ties, you're not a flight risk, that you do have relief coming, you do qualify for the green cards. That paperwork can be filed while you're detained, and used to show the judge the elements to get your release. My driver's license is expired, so do I request for another since my case said by August 25th? If your license is expired and you have the ability to renew, just renew it. Go ahead. I know you said you need my help. Go ahead and give us a call. Um, I usually have the ticker going at the bottom, but the number is, I'm gonna put my number in the comments. So I'll put the number in the comments of YouTube and Facebook. Go ahead, call that number, or you can DM us on Facebook. How long to receive a T visa receipt? I sent my case in May. Look, it's taking about 3 months, about 3 months right now. All right, I'm on TikTok. I got DUI after I received my VAWA green card and traveled 3 times after that. Can I still travel? Right now, I would say be very careful. No, you are a green card holder. So you do have the ability to travel, but yes, having a DUI after you got your green card is a serious risk. They are pulling background checks and detaining people with criminal conduct in their background. While one DUI may not render you inadmissible, it just depends on what the facts are. So I would say you're at risk here. But keep in mind, I'm not your attorney. I can't give you personalized legal advice, but I can just tell you that once you have a criminal record, right then and there, you need to look further into things. Can I file for my adult son while having a conditional green card? Yes. Yeah. I mean, assuming that you're gonna succeed to go from 2 year to 10 year, the petition will just continue on. Um, what state? I'm in Florida. However, we represent clients in all 50 states and the globe. Do they deport everyone going for a master hearing when they're under 2 years old? So the master calendar hearing is really a hearing that is 5 minutes long. Most of it is waiting, and the goal at that time, the judge is not making a decision to deport. No, you have a 2 year old. It's unlikely they're just gonna take a 2 year old into custody, but it depends on the facts again. It really depends. I got my medical RFE I-693. USCIS received my RFE and they say they're working on it. Is that a good sign? Yeah, definitely. They got it, they're processing it. That's a good sign. My daughter's doing my filing for me. We got the receipt notice from February 2025 and nothing else yet. Yeah, so that's very common. Don't freak out just yet. Deport everyone? Okay, so I answered that. Good afternoon. When you become a US citizen, do you have to update a social security? Yes, that's advisable. Contact Social Security and update your status, show them proof of your citizenship. Because if anybody runs your social security number, they may see you're still a green card holder, but you're a citizen now, so you want it to be reflected accurately. My I-485 got approved yesterday. What is next? Green card in the mail. Congratulations. Where are you located? We're located in Delray Beach, Florida. We also have an address in Boca Raton, Florida. These are our base locations. Delray Beach is our headquarters. However, we represent clients in all 50 states and the globe. So no matter where you are, we can help you. I filed for my daughter last year, November, from Jamaica. The I-130 was approved, but I forgot to submit. So if you forgot to submit the I-485, then get legal advice to make sure that can happen. Do I have to pay for work permit based on approved military PIP? So we'd have to look at the fee schedule. So you have to look at the fee schedule. Yeah, you may. My son was born here. He just turned 21. I came legal. I have two DUI of alcohol. I paid everything. So if you have that, then get legal advice. Any criminal conduct, I don't care how minor you think it is, it's time to get a lawyer. We can assist you, but having two can indicate, it can be an indication of certain issues. It can lead to inadmissibility, just depending on the severity of the charges, the facts involved. And it also could indicate alcoholism, which if they do suspect alcoholism, then that may open up a can of worms and they may render you inadmissible. So get legal advice and a lawyer. We can help with that. Just give us a call. Waiting on T visa filing for 16 months now and no updates for work permit. Yeah, so it depends. If you're waiting 16 months, they're really prioritizing more recent T visa submissions for the work permits. And then they're prioritizing decisions on the older cases. If they're unable to make a decision, then they send a bona fide determination. My son was born here. He just turned 20. Okay, so I answered that. I just moved from Indiana to South Carolina, my asylum is showing no future hearing. What can you do? So if you don't have any hearings, you have to wait till your hearing. Thank you so much, Melanie. I appreciate that compliment. How much you pay for T visa fee? So the fees to the USI is zero. Attorney fees depends on your case. What to expect at a U.S. citizenship interview by way, oh, by the way, thank you so much for the compliment. So, what to expect? You're gonna go into the office and they are going to let you there, you're gonna raise your right hand. They're gonna to ask you if you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. And of course, that should be a yes. And then they're gonna sit you down and they're gonna give you the reading test, the writing test in English, and then the civics test, right? That's a history test. And then they're going to go ahead and go through your application. They're going to make sure you know everything in your application, make sure you know your history. They are right now, they can go as far back as the very first time you had contact with immigration. And they're going to be looking, just like we saw in the case before, they're going to be looking for any past violations that could disqualify you. So just be very aware of everything in your background, even your visa application that you use to come into the country. And then usually if of that goes well, you have passed. If you have any extra complexities like criminal history, just make sure you're aware of it. Make sure. So for example, with my clients that have that complexity, I go in to make sure that I have my written arguments ready in case the officer implies that they can't give the citizenship because of this. And I then have the conversation with the officer about why my client still qualifies. So that's very important. Any kind of additional evidence. If you have criminal conduct in your background, you have to make sure you have the certified original but documents showing the disposition of case. That means were you convicted? Was it dismissed? And make sure you have the arrest record. It has to be certified or original documents, just so that the officer has all that they need to make a decision. I just moved. Okay, so thanks for sharing the live. I appreciate it. Go ahead, make sure you're tapping the screen, sharing, following, because subscribing, hit the notification bell. This is how people see this information. They can get valuable information that empowers them in their immigration journey. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thanks for the follows. I appreciate it. This is great. Thank you, TikTok. I really appreciate it. Um, Thanks for the follow. Hi, when would you get the date of your citizenship interview if the case status says interview is scheduled? So usually if the interview has been scheduled, now if you applied online, you can go on your online account and pull the application. If you didn't apply online, you could expect it within a week or so, usual mail time. How long does it take if child is in states and dad is US citizen for filing and over 21? If they're over 21, 5 to 7 years. I have TPS, but my work permit stopped and I applied for work permit under TPS. How can I get my work? Okay, so you have to, if you apply, you have to wait for it to come, the work permit to come, unfortunately. That's it, you have to just wait. Is N400 processing long? Well, the last I checked, 2 to 6 months, but under this administration, I can expect it to get longer. In Trump 1.0, when I did practice under the first Trump administration, citizenships went as long as a year and a half. So right now it's a matter of months, but as they implement new processes to screen, do additional screening, we can expect it to get longer. Someone with a sealed or dismissed case, can they travel as a green card, no jail time? So definitely keep this in mind, guys, because it's sealed does not mean that immigration doesn't know about it or that you should never disclose it to immigration. Immigration is an exception. You must still disclose it to immigration. So you are still at risk, especially if it happened after you got your green card. I applied for my driver's license. They said I should wait for verification, and I don't know why. So it might be a new process. It just depends. It sounds like the DMV. All right. My daughter petitioned. She had last interview 3 months ago. Now nothing updates since that. What should I do? You can contact them directly, but it's not out of the ordinary. Can someone apply for asylum from Jamaica? If so, how? No, you have to be in the country. Have a deferred action approved by my daughter in the military. Can request AP. No, deferred action does not give you the ability to travel. If you travel, you lose the deferred action. Can a green card holder file for someone? Yeah, they can file for their children, under 21 children, unmarried children. So they can file for unmarried children and spouses. Are T visas being approved? Yes, yes, yes. T visas are being approved. We just got one yesterday. So absolutely, I can tell you that. And actually we got one yesterday. We got two more, I think that within the 2 weeks previous to that. So they are coming, guys. They're coming. That's why I say don't listen to the rumors, go straight to an attorney who is in the trenches and can tell you what's going on. Has anyone been approved for T visa recently? Yes. Go to my videos. If you go to my videos, you will see I have just given the good news to my clients. So absolutely, it's happening. And it brings a smile to my face because we're making a difference pursuing this relief. Any update, are you familiar with the S visa? So the S visa, I believe, is for witnesses, certain witnesses of crime. So I don't take much of those. How long after you finish your four extension should apply for your 10-year green card? What extensions though? Because you can't just go from extensions to green card. So that's where I'm a little confused. How long does it take when you apply for or filed first a marriage-based green card? I'd say prepare for a year and a half to 2 years. And then if it's if it's anything, if you're outside of the country, you're looking at about 2 to 3 years. Are you still winning some asylum cases since the Trump administration came? Yes, those are still going through. They're still being approved. It's still happening. They're still processing it. And that's because it is written in the law. He still doesn't gotten an answer from them. I'm not sure what that means. How much for a private consult? So we do $150. Go ahead and contact us at the office, and then we can first we do a brief initial evaluation to make sure that it is a case that we can take, and then we go straight to the consultation. For 10-year, are you going to attend another interview? Yes, it's likely they'll call you in for an interview. Can I apply for a driver's license as an asylee with just passport and I-94, yes, you should be able to still apply for the driver's license. If you were granted asylum, then if you're granted asylum, you should be able to get your work permit and your social. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna check Instagram and then check YouTube and Facebook one more time, and then I'm gonna head out. Thanks so much for joining me, and it feels so good to not have technical difficulties again. So I'll keep doing it this way for now. I will book an appointment, absolutely, or we'll take good care of you. Good night. I have a question. My husband and I filed marriage green card. It was denied because of lack of evidence. Since then, he keeps dragging his feet to apply again. Can I apply for FAWA? If there's mistreatment involved, and that certainly is a red flag when they're dragging their feet and not making decisions in your best interest, then and the fact that there was a lack of evidence, that's a red flag too. We had a VAWA case where it was denied because the spouse sabotaged her. I mean, it happens in basically a majority of my cases. So I would say call us, schedule time to talk to our attorneys, and then we can talk to you about whether you qualify. And do it ASAP, because with the 9 cases, they are issuing notices to appear. So you don't want to end up in immigration court before you can refile that follow-up. This is why I'm saying it's urgent, guys. Make sure you're taking action, because if you end up in removal proceedings, it gets 5 times more complicated. So make sure that you're taking action to mitigate any kind of complications. With the T visa, you are not in deportation proceedings. We can still apply for you even if you're in removal proceedings, but it means that we also have to be doing a lot of gymnastics because we are managing the court issues at the same time that we are managing your T visa case, and it can be a lot more stressful. So do it where you have one process going through, and then once that you get the bona fide determination from the T visa, you know that you have protection from removal while they make a decision. Is it safe for green card holder to leave the country? Green card holders can travel. No, is it safe for you? It depends on your background. But what I would say is a vast majority of green card holders are traveling and they're fine. But if you face some additional risk factors, it's time to take heed and make sure you're covering yourself. I was filing taxes on the wrong status by mistake. Can this be a problem in citizenship? It depends. Is it going to cause you tax issues? Is it going to indicate to the immigration officer that there's a contradiction between what is in your application? So, for example, if you said single and in your application it says you're married, then they're gonna ask about that. You may want to get it amended, your taxes, that it may be worth pursuing an amendment of your taxes. Good night. I have a question. I had my interview at 90 days ago. My I-130 was approved, but I-485 is still under review. Should I be concerned? Usually the two are approved at the same time. So it could be something that may be missing. They may be doing additional background checks. It might be something in your background. Are you worried about something in your background? If so, you need legal advice for sure. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. I really appreciate this. I please hold on to your questions, and I am going to work now tomorrow. I'm gonna be out. And then there's the holidays, so bear with me. I will try to check in and do a live here and there, but just follow me, like, subscribe, and you'll get notification when I'm on, when I'm checking in, and you can hop on as well. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on TikTok. You can follow me on YouTube. I'm getting the green card on YouTube. I also have additional long videos that talk about varying topics. So you can check me out on getting the green card. I'm on Facebook at ST Law Office as well. So I'm on all the platforms. Follow me on those platforms. I'm immigration lawyer Sharifa. So I'm immigration lawyer Sharifa on TikTok. So follow me on those platforms so that when I can hop on, you can ask your questions. All right. Thanks so much, everybody, for your time. I really appreciate it. Bye bye.